I'm excited that Coach Wieligman and Haley asked me to do this. I'm so proud that I really got to start off my career for several years as the voice of Cowgirl softball on the radio. Back in the days when every other year we were in the Women's College World Series, and I'm glad those days are back, and I'm proud you all got us back where we belong. So let's give that team a round. So at first up, Sammy Jo Diffendaffer, senior outfielder from Oklahoma. You excited to go first? Sure, why not? Okay. Sammy Jo traveled to China in the summer of '09 and in 2010 and competed in 14 softball games against 2 different Chinese professional teams. So.
Well, probably my favorite experience was getting to take infield outfield with one of the Chinese teams. You can't speak their language, so it was just kind of a bold, I just wanted to do it, and I've gotten to know them pretty well. And well, Coach Wiggs runs a pretty tight infield outfield when we're in Stillwater, so I was pretty sure I could do it. So I just ran out and I broke, and I said the only Chinese word I knew how to say, and Jiao, which means let's go, and I ran out to right field, and I took infield outfield, and it was just amazing to me that even though I couldn't speak a single word that they would understand, or vice versa, I could still be a part of something that they did, because softball is universal and it could be played in all cultures.
All right, Sammy Jo Diffendaffer. All right, senior first baseman Julie Ward, Altadena, California. All right, this is good here. The previous record of 27 career home runs was set by 3-time All-American Jamie Fouch in '99 and matched by Kim K in '08. Julie has 31 home runs entering her senior season and has had no fewer than 9 in a single game. What a great accomplishment, Julie. So how does it feel to hold a home run record for a Division I softball team in one of the toughest conferences in the country?
There's nothing to say about it. Like, it's been my dream my whole life. And I was telling Coach Wiggs the other day, I was like, you know what? When I got to college, I didn't even know if I'd be able to hit the ball. I was like, I was just confused about the pitching. I was like, are they going to be a lot better? So when I got here, my freshman year, I had 9, and I was so proud of that. And every year since, I've been trying to get more, and I've been trying to set goals for this future season. I want to hit at least 17, so we'll see how that goes.
You just stole my next question, your goal. So 17 for this year. All right, well, good. Coach Wiggs says, he tells me that your family runs a fruit and veggie stand in California. Is that true? Tell us about it.
No, we are not on the side of the highway.
How did you deal with the transition? What was the biggest culture shock from Australia to Stillwater?
You don't really learn to transition. It's like, better do it or die kind of thing. Biggest culture shock, I would say the food. Yeah, that's a lot of sugar.
Well, can you say shrimp on the Barbie for us? I just want to hear it.
Shrimp on the Barbie.
Freshman catcher from Meeker, Oklahoma, Taylor Woodall. Small town of Meeker. Is that even on the map?
No.
That's what I heard. How many kids were in your graduating class at Meeker?
58.
58?
I was the valedictorian.
All right, that's good. 58, that's bigger than I thought. So tell us about your transition from a small town to this huge metropolis.
Well, it probably wouldn't have went so well if I didn't have my teammates. Like, I know some of my friends, they're kind of still struggling, but I have great teammates that help me get through everything. And I realized, I think about midway through the fall season, that there's 17 other girls going through the exact same thing I am. And that, you know, if they can do it, then I can do it. So.
You have a good attitude. So what are you looking forward to most in your first season?
The outcome of our hard work. I've never seen anybody work as hard. I mean, I'm playing with the top athletes in the country, and it's a big shock going from girls who are there to talk to you playing softball, and then the girls who are there to work hard and, you know, be athletes and show a university what it's like to be a Cowgirl and what it's like to win. So.
All right. Well, welcome, and good luck your first year. Taylor Woodall. All right, I've got to tell a little story here. It was Saturday, April 24th of 2010. Freshman pitcher Kat watched from the bench as the Cowgirls fell to the Longhorns 9-1. Scheduled for the Sunday start, Coach C had no idea what to expect. from this Texas native who just witnessed the Longhorns beat up the Cowgirl pitching staff the day before. Sunday, April 25th, the next day, Espinosa no-hits the Longhorns at their house, and the Cowgirls win 1-0. The no-hitter was the 36th in OSU history, and only the third thrown by a freshman pitcher. So, Kat, how did it feel to no-hit the Longhorns in their stadium, especially after what had happened the day before?
Well, honestly, I had no idea what was going on while I was pitching. I was just pitching like it was a normal game, and by the 7th inning, I guess I kind of knew something was going on because everyone was getting really quiet, and I was like, what's going on? So,
can you describe Coach C's reaction after the last out was made?
She gave me one of her first hugs.
All right, Kat Espinosa, junior pitcher. All right, I hear you have a bit of an idol. So why don't you tell us why you chose to wear number 87? That's kind of rare in softball.
Well, I have a borderline obsession with a hockey player who plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins. His name is Sidney Crosby. And we were actually born in the same hospital, and I grew up in the same hometown as him. And he is the hardest working person in the entire world, and I really do idolize him, and I'd like to be like him in the softball world.
So you started stalking him when?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Just want to make sure it wasn't from birth, so okay. All right. Tarah, Ettinger, everyone. Arriving. He has taken the Cowgirls to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments, including the Women's College World Series in last year, as we mentioned. Coach Wieligman has coached 15 all Big 12 selections, including 5 first-teamers, an average of 3 per season. He has coached 11 all-region selections, including 5 first-team members, and also has coached 1 All-American, Alicia Hamilton. We recognized Alicia a little bit ago, but let's give her a round of applause on her All-American season. Coach Wieligman has also learned the importance of success in the classroom, so listen to this. He has coached 28 academic All-Big 12 selections, an average of nearly 6 per season. That includes 18 academic All-Big 12 first-team picks. 4 players have been named academic All-Region, including 2 first-team selections. So how about that for academic achievement? We're proud of that, right, Amy? Maryland, back in the back. Not to mention Coach Wieligman and his assistants, Clarissa Crowell and Tom Gray, have received the honor of Midwest Regional Coaching Staff of the Year last year. Congratulations, coaches. Great job. Put your hands together for our head coach, Reece Wieligman.
One of the things that I believe in as a coach, and it was imposed, or however you want to call it, on me as a player, is you have to do things right. You know, you do things right. If you can't do it, don't do it. You got to do it right, and you have to learn. So I love teaching our players, giving them lessons, whether it be life lessons, whether it be on the softball lessons, whatever. And we came across a very important lesson I had a chance to teach them last year. It's toward the end of May, I guess, first part of June. There's a picture on the left. They didn't know how to dump water on anybody. So I took it upon myself to teach them how to correctly do a Gatorade bath.
Okay, I want you to smile big on 3. Big, 1, 2, 3.
Crazy thing is, if you weren't there, the day we qualified and we won that game to go to the World Series, Sammy Joe and Tamara Brown dumped the cooler on my head, not the Gatorade. And I didn't know it was that big a deal until the next morning I was eating breakfast at Perkins, and I look up and there's the not so top 10, and I was on there. So that quickly made me realize, okay, I have to teach them something. They had no clue. But this year's schedule, I don't know what I was thinking. I keep blaming somebody else, but I guess it was me that sets the schedule up. We've got a pretty tough schedule this year, and it's not that I'm mad about it. I love playing tough teams because I think that's why we got to the World Series this last year. had to go through the Big 12 last year, and then we go to Tennessee, and Mariah Gearhart takes the first pitch and looks down at me like, "Are you serious? We're going to win this thing now." You know, and this is a team that just won the SEC tournament, and everybody on that bench knew we were going to win it. And sure enough, you know, we took it. That first game was over. There was no doubt we were going to win it. So I guess I went a little overboard on that. I thought, well, heck, if we're going to play that kind of schedule, you know, that tough a conference, we might as well pick up our schedule a little bit. So we play Alabama, Arizona, Oregon, Houston, Nebraska, LSU, and Tulsa. Those are all top 20 teams, 25 teams. And some of them, like Tulsa, will play twice. LSU will play twice. It's going to be a challenge. Nebraska comes to our Mizuno Classic. They're not in our conference anymore. So those are just teams outside of conference that are ranked right now. And then you add Oklahoma, Missouri, Baylor, Texas A&M, and Texas. And you put together a pretty strong schedule. And I think what it's going to teach our kids is they've got to be ready to play every game. There's not going to be any letdowns. And hopefully that'll go into victories. You know, it's important that they understand preparation and get used to prepare the same way every time. I look at our schedule, and I think we're ready for it. I think the freshmen need to understand that it's time to grow up now and start playing. But the best thing I like about it is I was talking with Chelsea Garcia about that schedule. I go, man, it's a pretty tough schedule. She goes, we're still just going to play. And that to me means they're getting the message. And it's about playing the game, and it doesn't matter who's better on paper. It's a matter who's better that day. And that's all we have to do is be better that day, each and every day. Schedule's going to be good. I think it'll prepare us for postseason and hopefully a return trip to the College World Series. I think that's always our ultimate goal. Now my goal is, we've been to the World Series. I want to win some games now. All right, girls? Let's win some games. We got some important dates. Our first home game is at March 2nd, Friday. It's a preview against Iowa. And then on Saturday the 3rd, we go down to Hall of Fame and play. And then on the 4th, we'll be back up here in Stillwater against, who is it against? Who? LSU. Of course, LSU. I feel like we've been playing LSU a lot, doesn't it? Every year. Bedlam at the Hall of Fame is March 28th, and then we'll be here in Stillwater on April 11th. We've gone to a 3-game series. We used to play Oklahoma in this preview, but we're not going to do it this year because we've gone to a 3-game series, and we'll have to go down there and play them at their place as well. Season tickets are $50 for a season ticket. I think we're still selling them. Are we not, Haley? We still selling them? We're not sold out yet, so that's a good thing. It's a bad thing, too, because I want to sell out. I hate to say this, but after being at Super Regionals and seeing the crowd that we had at Super Regionals and what the crowd can do for a team, I'd like to challenge everybody to get back to our home games like that and make it one of the best atmospheres, period, because that Super Regional is unbelievable. You guys, the crowd, for players and coaches, it's hard to imagine to be able to play in front of that type of situation with as loud as they were, as loud as y'all were, it's unbelievable. And I'd love to have that challenge of seeing if we could fill up the bullpens with people again and having people peeking over the walls in the outfield every game and make that just commonplace, have people fighting for tickets. Last year, I came about, and they used to give out an O-ring long before I was here. They'd give out an O-ring. And somehow, as time went on, the person that did it or whatever the story I got was it quit getting done. And so what I want to do is I want to start that type of tradition again. And what I've done is if a player finishes their eligibility at Oklahoma State and they graduate, we get them an O-ring. And that signifies, for some people it's perseverance, some people it's dedication. I think it's both. I think an athlete that goes through 4 or 5 years of school to graduate and gets to graduation and gets to their eligibility, they've persevered and they've had there's been a lot of dedication to Oklahoma State and to do that. So I started that. I just got everybody this last 2 weeks, we just sent out all the rings to all our former players that I've been associated with when I started the last 4 years to get caught up in that tradition. So girls, just know you'll get an O-ring when you finish your eligibility and you graduate. Those are the 2 keys. Because I think it's important that you finish what you start. And that's big. You can join, we have this team room over here, and it's sort of closed in, it's just a room. And we're looking at knocking a wall down and adding the hallway that's out just outside to it and opening that room up a lot to make it be bigger. And we've got a big meeting table in there. We want to take the meeting table out and we want to add 4 bar tables with bar stools. And then you can see the stools here. They're going to be custom made. They're going to have a cowgirl logo on it with Oklahoma State, and we're going to be able to spread them out in there and do a little renovation. And what we've done is we've taken each table and put an era, one of the softball eras, in each table, and we're getting pictures, and we're going to put the tabletop with the players' pictures that we can get from everybody, and then glass over that, so they'll be able to come in and everybody will be able to see their era. You know, alumni come back in, they'll be a part of that team room. Because to me, you know, we're not here today with what happened, unless, you know, what happened last in the history of our program. So that's one thing that we've got going on right now that we're trying to get done, is just to update and renovate our team room. I will shave that mustache again if we get back to the World Series. I did it, and thank goodness it grew back. I was scared to death. I shaved it, and my wife turned back and goes, "You are growing that back, aren't you?" What people don't know is I grew that back in 1985 before I met my wife, so she's never known